Well, good afternoon, boys and girls. Good to see you all again. I've got some great news for you today. The lockdown, as we're being told, is over. Okay, so we are actually allowed, I use the term loosely, out to to take our cars to go and walk in the countryside if we choose to. We're allowed to take our exercise somewhere away from home. The police have overstepped their duties in trying to clamp down on people's travel and see where they're going, and sometimes asking for ID. You know, this is way over and above and beyond what we're allowed to do, what they are allowed to do in the United Kingdom. I'm going to bring you more details about this soon. It's very exciting news. So just bear with me, and I'm going to actually go out to a location, do some photography, have a walk, have some exercise. And do that all without fear of being accosted by the police. I'll let you know how it goes, and I'll talk to you about the more details about that shortly. Okay, see you later. Whoa. So I may have overstated it when I said the lockdown is over. It isn't strictly over, but what you're permitted to do in the lockdown is drastically changed through a very quiet piece of information that was slipped into the news. This came in at 12:10 last night, and hasn't had much fun for. I've seen it on Sky News a bit, I've seen it on The Guardian, I've seen it in various places, but it's not receiving the kind of coverage it really ought to be receiving. And this is concerning. So, with regard to your lockdown, the police do not have the powers to tell you you cannot go out more than once a day. They do not have the powers to tell you to go home. They do not have the powers to question why you're out, what you're doing, where you're going. Okay, let me just read this article from The Guardian that came through last night. So it came through at 12 last night. And I'll attempt to read this. I've had to screenshot it because the phone reception up here is quite bad. So, UK police chief warned against overreach in use of virus lockdown powers. Police chiefs are drawing up new guidance warning forces not to overreach their lockdown enforcement powers after withering criticism of controversial tactics to stop the spread of coronavirus, The Guardian has learned. And do you remember Derbyshire police dyeing the fucking Blue Lagoon black? Do you remember Derbyshire police flying drones over the moors in Derbyshire or Derbyshire Peak District to try and catch people walking? I say catch people. Okay, we have a fundamental human right to travel. Okay, the police do not have the right to question, to stop, and to ask us what we're doing, why we're going, and to prove that. They don't have the right to send us home if they don't like what they hear either. So let me just carry on with this. So the intervention comes from a growing concern that some forces are going beyond their legal powers to stop the spread of COVID-19, with one issuing a summons to a household for shopping for non-essential items. For fuck's sake, this is the police. They cannot tell us that what items are essential and what are not essential. It's none of their fucking business. Okay, if they tell you this sort of thing, ask them what law actually gives them the authority to to do what they're doing. Okay, there is no law that does that. Okay, so let me just move on to the next part of this article. It says, on Monday, former Supreme Court Justice Lord Sumption said that excessive measures were in danger of turning Britain into a police state. Well, no fucking shit, Sherlock. Okay, we've seen people being fined for going to the park. I know Derbyshire police again. One of my contacts in that area, Hena Park, at least 60 people have been issued summons for, sorry, not issued summons, issued fines rather, £60 fines for walking in the park. Now, respecting social distancing measures, respecting the other things, but £60 fines for walking in the park. Now, as I said in one of my previous videos, if we are going out individually or as our family groups and we are respecting social distancing, respecting social distancing, and I mean by that physical distancing, so keeping at least 2 metres apart from other family groups or other people you see walking out there. Now, it does no harm to anybody. In fact, the opposite, it does good. In these days where we're cooped up inside our houses for hours at a time, people need to be able to get outside. And this is the third day in a row I've come outside now for different reasons. Today I've come out just for the fuck of it because I wanted to make a video about this particular issue. Somewhere I fancied going, somewhere I've been to loads of times before. This is relatively local to us. I know it's somewhere I do come for a drive or for a walk sometimes. But nevertheless, I'm not the only person here. There's another car over there. It's a beautiful space. We've got tens of thousands of square miles of open countryside where people can to ramble in if they want to. So if you want to go and walk in the countryside, you are now allowed to do that. Let me carry on. Where are we here? So National Police Chief Council, NPCC, and the College of Policing are rushing through guidance reminding officers that despite politicians' warning, they cannot bar people from going for a run or a drive. Let me just repeat that. They cannot bar people from going for a run or a drive. It will state that while certain actions, such as driving to exercise, may be unwise, they are not prohibited by the emergency powers, according to sources with the knowledge of detailed discussions. It is also expected to conclude that the law does not restrict people from exercising only once a day. So all the bullshit you've been hearing off the TV, from all the politicians that all suddenly come down with coronavirus now, and then social isolation themselves and doing all that stuff from video conferencing, all this bullshit that you can only go out once, you can only go out for a limited time, you can only go out for if you're near your house. All this bullshit is exactly that. It's total bollocks. They do not have the powers to order that, and I cannot state that enough. Now, I'll carry on this article for a moment, and I've got some other things to say. Okay, so the Guardian understands that the NPCC chair, Martin Hewitt, wrote to police chiefs forces across the country, in England, this is, and Wales, over the weekend about the need for greater consistency in the application of emergency powers. Now, I've heard of different forces issuing tickets for being out and about. I've heard of people, and I've seen it on the internet, people being given notices saying return home on a non-essential journey, etc., etc. I've heard about people being fined. I've heard of accounts through people I know and trust of police turning up at people's houses because the neighbours have reported them for being out more than once a day. Fuck off, neighbours. Who the fuck do you think you are to report your neighbours for being out more than once a day? If you're that kind of scum, that wants to do that and to shop your neighbours, you're quite frankly people I don't want anything to do with. I really boils my piss when people go out and they report their neighbours for stuff. Just let them get on with it. Just live and let them. If you want to follow the rules to the letter, you follow the rules to the letter. It doesn't matter what other people do. Just let them get on with it. Senior police commanders are understood to have been concerned over how the unprecedented powers were being implemented in the first few days by some forces, with Lancashire Police issuing 123 enforcement notices since Thursday, and Bedfordshire Police issuing none. The guidance contrasts with local police actions that range from Derbyshire Police filming dog walkers in the Peak District with a drone, and officers telling shops to stop selling Easter eggs. Fuck off! We're still allowed to have fun. We've still got families to entertain. We have to entertain them more than ever at the moment. Do not tell us we cannot buy Easter eggs, you egotistical bastards. Speaking to the BBC, Sumption attacked the behaviour of police forces and singled out Derbyshire Police Force particularly. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so so that is what I've got notes on that. So I want to re-emphasise what I've just been talking about there. That you and your family are allowed out together more than once a day. If you want to drive to get to where you want to go to, fucking drive to go there. No, they cannot stop you. If they question you about where you're going and stop you and ask you if you're rights of travel, like they were doing in York the other day, tell them it's none of their business. You're exercising your democratic right to travel in a free country, and and they have no power to stop you. And if they question you about that further, ask them specifically what laws are giving the authority to detain, to stop you in your tracks and asking you your business. No, there are no laws that give them those powers. Let's be really clear about that. Something else I want to add to that. Okay, so if you are one of the poor bastards that have been fined over the last few days through egotistical fucking police forces, do not pay your fines. Okay, I urge you, each and every one of you, to appeal your fines. There's a very, very high chance that these will turn out to be unlawful administrations of justice. And you could, in fact, be entitled to compensation at the end of this for it all. But at the very least, do not give them any more money. The money grabbing bastards are going out there in some forces, like in Lancashire, trying to just issue penalty notice to people or criminalise people for exercising their democratic right to travel and roam the country. Okay, now, with all this being said, I really want to reiterate one thing here. And that one thing is we need to still respect social distancing measures. And I would rather call it physical distancing. I think, we need socialisation with people, but physical distancing with people. There is a virus going around, so we're told, and we need to still protect ourselves and protect others from the chances of contracting that virus. So if you're one of the morons that turn up on Skegness Beach or all the other places at Snowdonia in the tens of thousands, you can expect to be dispersed. You are causing a danger to yourself and you're causing a danger to other people. You're irresponsible, and that is not okay. But to the vast majority of people out here, in the world or in this country rather, that are listening to this and seeing what's going on, you're interested as well as mine and everybody else is to not spread this disease around any further, and to try and protect ourselves and our families from that as well. And hats off to you. I've seen loads of people walking around in town yesterday and in York yesterday, and everyone is walking with no acceptable gaps. Very, very few people about. The supermarkets, everyone's respecting social distancing pretty much. I've heard a few stories where people are being a bit arsy about it, but you always get the odd one that does this sort of thing. The vast majority of people out there are respecting these social distancing measures. And we're being told that maybe we're plateauing out a bit, possibly. I don't know. I think it's too early to say that at the moment. We have a right to be outside. I, for one, am going to carry on going. In fact, I'm going to make more of an effort now, as I can't do anything else I want to do because all the shops are shut. But I am going to make more of an effort now to go out and be photographing places I want to photograph and do some of my photography, which is my other pastime. It helps with my exercise and keeps me fit, keeps me mentally fit as well. That is me. Please just do, go out and be responsible, with your newfound freedoms, i.e. the rights you had all along. If you're not responsible for it, then you deserve what's coming. You deserve your fines. You deserve, further lockdown measures. Most of us don't want that. It isn't what we're here for. So please just work with it. Okay, thanks very much for listening. Please do like and subscribe below. On the YouTube, the subscribers really do help me. and click on the notification button as well. I'm trying to get this channel a bit more recognised, and hopefully we can share information backwards and forwards with each other. I've already had people sending me bits of information which I've been looking through and processing separately. And we'll do some videos on some of these things as well. But yeah, thanks very much for your support. Look forward to seeing from you next time. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.